Good morning. Hi, good morning. Only because I said I wouldn't. Don't stop standing outside of somebody's vehicle. Hi, good morning. It is, what is it? Um, 8. Hi, good morning. It's 8:41 a.m. Saturday, April 19th, 2025. Out in the world where I am, ShanteyJ. Good morning. We're going to start off with that. I have something to talk about. But they call me a pretender. That's my word. You can't use my word. No, you cannot. You know, say that he's a pretender. Somebody pretending to be something they're not. You know what? Not because of my fake ass business. You know what? Or pretending to be rich and brokey. You know what? No, not because of that. Because of what I'm doing here on social media. I never said I wanted to be a journalist, what they call them, or say I went to school for to broadcast journalism. I never said I wanted to be one of them. I never even said that I wanted to be a blogger. You know what? A blogger. I never said that. So, you know, and then someone says, so, well, what are you doing on social media? I shouldn't have to answer the same questions twice to talk about the same things over and over again because it's not my fault that you didn't watch. But no, let's talk about, I have some spare time this morning. It's Sunday, it's Saturday, the day before Easter. So I don't know why I thought about what time it was with the date. It's April 19th, because tomorrow it's Sunday, April 20th, Easter Sunday, and I'm out and about, child, I'm on my way over to the church. Downtown to the Basilica of Baltimore City. That's exactly where I'm on my way to. They have something going on Saturdays, and definitely Easter. I'm trying to get some Easter candy or something like that. So I'm hoping that the local churches will be out there, and I get myself a little Easter basket or some candy and something like that. Surely, that's the only reason I'm just trying out here. You know what? So anyway, I am downtown Baltimore City. My address is right here. That's how some people got notes in Google. I don't mind. You know, they want to see what area I live in. Well, anyway, first things first, they call me a pretender. Now, who taught them that word? That is my word, pretender. Somebody pretending to be something they're not. Now, I'm not claiming to be a newscaster or a journalist or a professional blogger or anything like that. I said, I said what I said. You know what? So it's on here somewhere. I guess you had to go back and find the answer for yourself. But no, pretend. No, I'm not. I don't think so. Wherever I end up is where I end up. But anyway, and then I was going back. I go back and watch when I do. Everything is live. That's the only reason I won't go back and delete this damn video and start over, because I said I would never delete my live feeds. Now, because I'm standing outside, I heard somebody behind me. I want to turn around and see what's going on. That's one. You know, I was right. You know, being aware of where my surroundings or whatever. So I wanted to see what was going on around me, and all right, and it could be interesting down here. You know what? So anyway, and then I said, and then it was like that this morning. I said, the universe, I don't know what the hell these people are doing to me. I'm thinking a million one things that I don't want to talk about. So I didn't, you know what? And then this morning, I said, so what got my attention? Mr. Sean Combs, we're talking about him, who's managing his finances while he's in jail. Somebody said, I can't believe you had nerve to ask that damn question. You know what? And then not only, I'm like, who the hell he piss off? Who the hell did he piss off? He made somebody mad somewhere, whether he meant to or not. They say sometimes you need to figure out what it is and go back and fix the problem. That's what he need to do. Like, I'm sorry. That was, I might. But just for argument's sake, you know what? I can say, I ain't mean to do it. But they're going after his ass. Oh, speaking of finances, we're talking about celebrities and finances. Wendy Williams, I'm like, not the bank for her own good, and not the family Wells Fargo. I said, so when you go to the bank, you sign up for those accounts. You need to pay attention to what you're signing, because it's amazing what people do to you and say this for your own good or in your best interest. Because the bank, because her son out there. Him and his friends out there having a wonderful time. I said, he ain't had a group of friends, he had entourage. You know what? I'm saying, did he really spend $100,000 on coffee at Starbucks? Hell no, he didn't. He did. Him and all his friends At Starbucks, I bet they get a little bit of everything. You know what? No, not on him, on his mom. You know what? And then that's when you know people going to the bank, they taking out large sums of money out of her account. You know, some of them had the nerve to even show up as her. I was like, did we not know who she was? You know, Wendy Williams, you know what? And then the bank said, you know, they called her over, had to come in. Oh, Miss Williams, you know what? But in her best interest, you know what? Or you know, trying to look out for under the pretense of was her own good. That's correct. No, they don't put her under guardianship. The bank, Wells Fargo, put her under guardianship, and she don't even have access to her money. And then not only that, I'm assuming that these people that are supposed to be her legal representation, specifically in reference to the guardianship, are being paid for. Because I'm sure people not paying for, you know, her legal representation in reference to the guardianship, you know, out of the kindness of their own hearts, with their own money. Now I'm pretty sure they're using her money to pay her legal team, you know what, so that Wells Fargo can continue to keep her under guardianship for her own best interest. Meanwhile, she went out and hired her own profile lawyer, her own very high profile lawyer, and I'm assuming she has some access to funds somewhere. You know what? But he cannot represent. She cannot should retain her own legal representation in reference to the guardianship. He can represent her, so he can be her attorney. She can give him a couple $100,000, whatever his retainer was. You know what? But he can't walk his ass in that courtroom standing before that judge, Miss such and such, whatever her name is. You know what? And speak, you know, about any and represent Wendy Williams in anything in reference to the guardianship. You know, placed on her, and you know, and turn her finances by Wells Fargo. You know what? So I'm sitting there worried about Wendy Williams. I'm like, hold up. I'm seeing all these pictures on social media about Diddy. I heard he was on there with a full beard and gray hair. Not anymore. You know, I saw him look like he got a little haircut. Somebody gave him some hair dye, some Just Mint. That's it. You know what? And got his beard in order. So you know, right? You know, right. What I said, you know what? I said, speaking of which, and celebrities and finances, I wonder what's going on with Mr. Sean Combs, who's been in jail, incarcerated for almost a year, a little over a year. You know what? Who is handling his finances? You know what? And then, I said, his canteen better be full all the time. You know what? I said, you better get plenty. I see lots of hair dye and Just for Me in his future, because they were talking about his gray hair and his gray beard. You know what? I say he better have all the good snacks. Now, see, but taking it to, you know, all jokes aside, taking it seriously, I'm curious about what's going on with his finances. You know, we talk about Wendy Williams and, you know, guardianship. Is there anything going on, you know, or anything was put in place? Not that it's not our business, but we're definitely concerned. You know what was going on with Mr. Combs and his finances. What's going on with his finances? Who is handling or overseeing his finances while he is not out and about in the world with us, at least not at this point, you know? So I'm curious about that. And then meanwhile, I don't know who the hell he pissed all 150 people, really. 150 people. A class action lawsuit going after one person. Now I heard, you know, some people, child, we all have our own reputation, which if I forget, you know what? Remind me in a few minutes, and I'm going to tell you about mine. You know what? Speaking of which, you know, I've heard about, you know, I've seen the documentaries, and every once in a while somebody make the news in the newspaper or the magazine or vlogs. That's it. So, you know, especially persons of the entertainment industry or just, you know, well-known persons in general. Some of it might be true. It might be a little true. But I've never seen. If they have, I definitely missed it. People going after as hard as they're going after Mr. Sean Combs. You know what? Because they're going after. I mean, he's in jail. I'm assuming he has no access to his finances, and they're going after him criminally and civilly at the same time. Like goddamn, at the same damn time. You know what? I'm like, who the hell? Who he pissed off? You know what? Because not only is he incarcerated, and you know, I wouldn't know whatever's going on with that. And I try to listen, because you don't understand. As much as I'm a fan of you know, them or him as an entertainer, just in general, since I was a teenager, I am girl's girl, something like that. You know what? So I listen to things while as a fan for him, while also listen to things, you know, from the perspective of the women, or in this case, the women and the men, to try to hear, you know, and understand what it is that they have that they have to say. You know what? That they have to say, you know, concerning. So I haven't been paying attention, but I mean, my God, you know what? So I'm curious as to what's going on with him financially, who's overseeing his finances, and you know, and as far as, you know, a class action lawsuit, 150, 130. 130, 150. I said I was going to look into that in more detail. Litigants going after one person. I mean, because we've seen. I mean, I've heard about people. They going into sex trafficking. They say he don't went out and got some prostitutes and brought in prostitutes. You know what? I'm not ready. I had to get my thoughts together because I was thinking about this morning. But see, this is live, and I'm not going to delete it. So I had to watch. Not because I get the same message across, but watch my word. You know what? But some of the things that they're accusing this young man of, and going after, hard. I've never seen anybody going after in the entertainment industry as hard as it seems like they're going after Mr. Combs. I mean, he's already incarcerated, and he's been denied bail numerous times. I'm assuming he has limited access to his finances because of the fact that he is incarcerated while waiting trial. And you know what? They're going at him civilly and criminally at the same damn time. I'm like, God damn, So I'm curious, just do my research. Have they gone after any other person in the entertainment industry as hard as they're going after Mr. Combs, Mr. Sean Combs? I don't know. Now, and then, I said, the other day I was like, did you know? Did you know? Oh, I'm going to do a quick recap. Did you know? No. Snoop Dogg is coming out is releasing not only his first but his second gospel album. I didn't know. I said, no, you didn't know. You might have, but it's not likely because I didn't know. Like, did you know? You know what? So I'm looking forward to that. I won't use words as strong as testimony, but I am looking forward to hearing what he had to say on the first and what he has to say on his second. I was like, wow. And then we think about Death Row because I watch a lot of documentaries about a lot of things. So I know a lot about the history of the persons that the things, just hip hop, entertainment industry, things like that. So we heard about things about Death Row, you know what? But no, not only music, but they're movies. They may have been doing movies for years, production. But I did not know. I didn't. And then I'm coming across movies. 1992. This is my first one. I think I'll go back and look. I thought that was a wonderful movie, great movie with starring Tyrese and another young man, up becoming actor. I thought it was a great movie. And now, of course, I'm watching the end of it. I'm seeing the credits. Death Row. I'm like, really? You know what? The Death Row production. I said, wow, that is something. So I'm thinking about them, going back to the entertainment industry, and then we, of course, the West Indies. Speaking of which, you know what? I did not know. One of the things that they're supposedly going at. Now I'm not trusting YouTube for everything. Not that I'm trying to put anybody's credibility into question. Are they really going after him? Is it for the death of a Tupac Shakur? Was that one of the things that he's been indicted for? I'm like, really? It's something. But anyway, something to look forward to. I don't know if it has been released yet, but it definitely will be released soon and very soon. The second gospel album, Snoop Dogg. I can't wait to hear what he has. It's the first one. I should go ahead and download it. Look for it on Spotify, or maybe even here on YouTube. You know what? Listen to the first one and listen to the second, or listen to the first one in preparation for the second one. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And speaking of which, I said, have you heard? You know what? Have you heard? So I'm gonna talk a little bit about myself and my reputation, which you may have heard. Not more like, did you know? Oh, did you know the Kardashians have a church, a mega church, over in the greater Los Angeles area? You know what? Whatever, you know what? But anyway, so speaking of which, when I was talking about, did you know? Like, have you heard? And I was wanting to address some things that you may have heard about me. So you might have to pay attention because I'm not going to want to say it twice. And it's one of those things where I had to talk because I had to give myself time to decide whether or not I want to say something or not. You know. I'll give you one. I say, have you heard? You know what? That sometimes you might see me downtown. That might be a little true. That's why I try to be like transparent. Almost I feel like I was like too transparent. You know, I said a lot about myself in general. You shouldn't really have any questions about me. I don't think so anyway. And about me or my finances or me in general, because I've addressed just about everything I've heard somebody say or somebody ask here on social media, here on Instagram Live, either the Q&A or some. I'm not trying to get people to actually to watch the videos, but it's more like I think I said I'm a veteran. I have a small pension. I used to get some money from my family. So you already know. And then now they don't give me any money, getting money anymore. There's no financial assistance. No, I don't. Not as one. I don't get food stamps or anything like that. That was a big one as far as like government assistance. So I started a small business. It's growing. It's been 4 years. We're going to have a 4-year anniversary. As a means to supplement my income, add to. And then I liked it, so I kept going. And then it's growing faster than I realized. So definitely as far as social media presence and brand awareness, and then I initially intended. But I like it, so I don't think I see myself stopping anytime soon. It's growing more so in as far as brand awareness and social media presence and in profit. You know what? I said one of the biggest questions they want to know, if people want to know about my inventory and if it was real, where my inventory comes from. You know now. So I talked about that here too on there, because it's scrolled out a little bit. I have on a hat, and I said something about I might that's it, that one. Well, anyway, so I answered questions about that. So I couldn't imagine. I said sometimes I guess because people see online. That's how I know. I want to understand that, because I haven't been taking a lot of pictures. I haven't really been doing my makeup and taking pictures. I have a little eyeliner and some eyelashes for my little eyebrows and some lipstick now. But all right, so I want to understand what people see online, you know, whether they expect certain things. I don't claim to be rich. And some people like me. They said, or could have an interest in me, at least I heard, because I'm seen to be an everyday person. That's what they know, that some of these people are just regular people. And that's definitely what I am, a regular person. I don't claim to be anything other. But yeah, you might have heard. Have you heard? You know what? You might catch me downtown at the church every once, not all the time, but every once in a while. I was getting sack lunches, connecting sack lunches on Saturday. You know what? Because I ran out of groceries. It'd be like that. You know what? So that might be true. You might have heard. So I said every once in a while when I'm talking, I'll address things that I've heard people say. You know, like in general. But yes. So I'm curious, maybe because I have such an interest in the financial services industry. And you know, and people when they, you know, so you know, because for the most part, I didn't know that a bank could do that. I mean, did you know? You know what? That banks can, you know, can take over your accounts. You know, of course, in your own best interest. Not because Wendy Williams was you know, impaired in any way, as far as a judgment or anything like that. They said the problem with Wendy Williams is that they felt like she was being taken advantage of. So it's not that necessarily she was incompetent or impaired in any way. They were surrounded by the wrong people. In this case, her son was surrounded by the wrong people, and they was kind of taking advantage of, and they would access her funds, you know, going out, you know, $100,000 worth of Starbucks coffee. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I'm hearing on social media. And, you know, people going to the bank, taking out large sums of money, and people going to the bank, ask her, taking money from her account. I've heard about that. And so it wasn't that, you know, and now they're trying to bring her, you know, even though she's passing the psych evaluations, it seems like, you know, I like a whole psych evaluation, 10 questions. You know what? I guess unless she answers those 10 questions, you know, then she should be good to go. Then in turn, she should be able to at least at all, you know, have some say so about her legal representation. But the judge was like, hell no. You know what? You know, you might be her lawyer, but you have no place in my court. And she sounded like she's serious as hell. You know what? And so I don't know. I mean, the psych evaluation, she did the psych evaluation, passed the psych evaluations. Then what was the purpose of the psych evaluations? If you know, if it's, you know, I want to understand if it's not doing her any good from what I, you know, even though it's a psych evaluation, supposedly. Because remember, they took over her accounts and guardianship. Was why, in her own good, they felt like she was being not mismanaging her finances. They felt like she was being taken advantage of. So you need to do your research like I did. Now, they felt like Wendy Williams was being taken advantage of. Now, and her son down in Florida, and then, you know, people going to her accounts, you know, accessing, you know, withdrawing large sums of money from her account, and they felt like she was being taken advantage of. You know what? And that maybe, you know, they had concerns about people, you know, withdrawing large sums of money out from her account without her permission. At least that's my understanding based on everything that I've seen online. So, so as far as her judgment, I feel like her judgment is fine. And she's not impaired in any way. She's passed a psych evaluation. I'm assuming they only did that psych evaluation once. I don't know if they went ahead and did another one. So with that being said, and now so with that being said, I'm assuming she should have some at least some say so over her legal representation or her own legal representation that she's retained. I'm assuming on her behalf with her monies that she's earned over the last I don't know how many years. And that her legal representation should at least be a part of whatever legal representation that the court has designated, paid for by her funds, with her own monies, and if nothing else. But then, Mr. Sean Combs, I had no idea. I'm like, who the hell are you, man? Because I couldn't. This morning, I was like, what? Because when I had to, because somebody said, I can't believe she had the nerve to say that. The question, who's overseeing his finances while he's incarcerated? And and I was like, really? Because I forgot it, because I've only heard somebody talk about that once or twice online. 150 people, a class action lawsuit, against an entertainment industry person. I mean, we heard about people, being sued here and there, some young lady or some young man, because he got her pregnant or some type of something. And either the case is handled publicly or it's handled privately, swept under the rug, and we might know about it. Why? Because people don't went out and did that research, gossip blogs and stuff like that. Right. But I've never seen anyone, a public figure, at least I don't think so, at least of the entertainment industry, to be gone after as hard as it seemed like they were going after Mr. Sean Combs. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, but I'm like, 150 people, and they're all represented by the same law firm. 150 people. Being represented by the same law firm. And from my understanding, I don't know if they're seeking more, a whole class action lawsuit against this one person. It's not like they're trying to bankrupt Puffy. I'm calling Puffy, because that's what everybody does. If I say Sean Combs, you might like, what? They say brother love, that's on certain people. You know what? Diddy, yeah, probably. Puffy, right, Puff Daddy. We definitely heard of Puff Daddy. What the hell are they doing to Puff Daddy? You know what? So I'm curious about what's going on there. And meanwhile, I try to remain as unbiased as possible and keep listening to these young women and young men, about what they have to say and things like that. But I'm like, God damn, you know what? But anyway, so every once in a while, since I'm doing, did you know? That's Snoop Dogg. That's it. Is releasing not only his first but his second gospel album. You know what? Did you know that the Kardashians have a mega church out in the greater Los Angeles area? Have you heard? You might catch me downtown. That's on Saturday. Collect the SAG license. Anyway, I am ShanteyJ.